everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class 337. Yes, we're continuing on. I know that there is a lot going on in the world right now with the coronavirus and entire states being closed, which we are. Our retail store is shut down. Our warehouse or our upstairs rooms are shut down, but we are going to persevere right on through to the very best of our abilities. Thankfully, we have the capability of setting some of our SMS staff up at home to work. So things like emails, while it may be slow in getting you some responses, emails and billing and even shipping. We're even going to continue to try to ship through all of this. I will be here at the store every single day during the next 4 weeks, which is what we're told this will be a minimum of. We will be closed for a minimum of 4 weeks, but I will be here every day because I'm allowed to. I'm the owner, and I will be going through and doing my best to support all of you out there in the crafting community. I will be here answering phones if I can, and answering emails, and picking and packing and pulling and shipping if necessary, which is going to be necessary. So if you see my name on your packing slip, I'm the one who shipped your order. Or if you see my name on your email, I'm the one who answered it. And if I pick up the phone, I'm the only one who would be able to answer a phone call here. So, well, I know this is a scary time for everybody. I also know that this is the time that we bond together and we support each other and we lift each other up. And so for the safety of our staff, of course, and because it has been mandated that we close, that's what we're going to do. And those who can work from home are going to continue to work from home, and those who can't, well, this was really hard for me. I had a meeting with my staff this morning, and I need to let you all know we really are a mom and pop store. And we're going to become more of a mom and pop store during this because I'm going to have to draft my 2 teenage boys to come help me pick orders and pack orders and pull orders and ship orders. But I have a responsibility to the people who work for me. And while this virus, this pandemic is completely out of my control, what isn't out of my control is the way we respond to that. And we're not at Amazon, and we're not a big online company, but my staff chose to work for me. They chose to be part of Team SMS, and for that I take the responsibility really. It is so important to me. So while we are unable to have them work from home, because not everybody can, the people who quality control your orders, they can't quality control from home, and the people who pull our reports, to fill your orders, they can't do that. They've got to be here to do that. We, as a company, I have decided to do my best to pay them what we can during the time that they're off. And we will continue to make payroll as best as possible for at least the 4 weeks that they're off. It's the right thing to do. Oh, I don't mean to cry. I'm so sorry. I don't know where that came from, but these people are my family, and they have mortgages to pay. And this was not of their doing. It was not of my doing. And they need to be okay. So we're just gonna muster it up somehow and continue to try to make payroll as best as possible, even though they're at home. I know that they would prefer to be at work. This is certainly not a vacation for anybody. So we're going to do our best, and I'm going to hope that you stay with us because, again, as a small mom and pop, to continue to make payroll when I'm not sure what's going to be coming in, it's a big thing for us. But I can hear my mom and dad saying it's the right thing to do. That is how they raised me. And I will not turn my back on my employees. I won't. This is a short-term problem. It's a big problem, but it's short-term. And we've been around far too long, and they've been with me far too long for me not to value what they contribute to my company. So, will everything ship on time? No. Will we do our best? Of course we will. And just know that by you sticking with us, whether that's just watching the YouTube or placing an order or not canceling an order, know that we value and appreciate that from you, and that it is not unnoticed or lost on us what you bring to my company and our business. So, the product I'm going to show you today, unfortunately, Stampendous is currently closed. They're here in California, and I have some of it already here, but not all of it. And I know that Peggy will get me the twinkling, sparkling embossing powders just as quickly as they can. And the stamps and dies I have for you today, I have some of them here, but not all of them. They're from Ozzy Andrew and Contour Creations, who would love to ship them to me, but all the flights to the United States have been pretty much canceled, and they can't get them on a plane here. And God bless Hero Arts, because they also are here in California, and the governor has pretty much shut us down. So everything I have to show you is wonderful, amazing product that will land in your Happy Mail inbox at your house, apartment, wherever you call home. You're just going to have to give us the time to get it there to you. And I know each one of these manufacturers appreciates your support as well. They are in the same predicament as we are, and they would get this product here to me if they could, but they can't. They're doing their best to facilitate. So, this is a group effort. This is where we stick together, we link arms, and we march right on through until the scary time of this is over, and everybody is safe and well, and life can get back to whatever your normal is, or as close to normal as possible. And for those of you who are intimately affected by the coronavirus, either you have found that you have tested positive, or that you know somebody who has, or a loved one has, you have our prayers. You do. We will not let you down either. We are praying for all of you. Okay? So, I have to tell you, it was a tough meeting this morning. I look at my staff, and they mean the world to me. So, as their boss, it's time to buck up, put a smile on my face, find the lemonade out of the lemons, and look for that unicorn sailing across the sky, because somehow we are going to just make this work. There is no other option. I just won't hear of it. And again, because we are a strong company, thankfully, we are a strong company. We'll be here when this is all over, and we'll be here waiting for all of you to come back and see us in store. All right, I am going to talk about Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. And that was from last YouTube, and I'm going to continue with our YouTubes. I'm not going to stop. Everybody's home. You need something to watch besides Netflix, right? And this is a good time to pull your grandkids and your kids together, and your friends. Well, you can't have too many friends over, and keep yourself 6 feet apart. But make cards and scrapbook and maybe get out the old photos and start writing on the back of them who they are. Maybe this is the time to Skype with Grandma if you've got all the old pictures and say, Grandma, who is this? And then write on the back of the picture. That way when you go to scrapbook, you know who you're scrapbooking with. I did that with my mom and dad a few years before they passed. I grabbed all the old pictures and asked them, who is this? So we're just gonna do this. All right, so the last YouTube was 336, and that was using the beautiful peel-off stickers. I'm so glad we have them back. I'm so thankful to have peel-offs back. They're an easy product to use, they're affordable, and they look amazing. So we have 2 winner chicken dinners when we use the new Tombow set. So you're gonna win a new Tombow pin set, which was like $26, and a collection of these stickers. So who are my winner chicken dinners? Well, how about Loretta Ritchie? Hello, Loretta. Any relation to Lionel? If so, hello. That'll tell you my age too. Well, actually, hello. Okay, I should get back to this. I'm digressing and you're probably turning me off right now, but that's okay. Loretta Ritchie, congratulations to you. You are a winner chicken dinner. I don't know when your prizes are gonna ship out right now. All prizes are on hold until we can wrap our brains around what's going on and I can get shipping people set up off-site, hopefully, to ship. Dymo labels are on order. Okay, our next winner chicken dinner is Deborah Reeder. Hello, Deborah. Is that you? Congratulations to you too. Wahoo, we always have 2 winners. So let's do it, everybody. Are you ready? You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. Congratulations, girls. Don't forget to claim your prize at winner. The email is winner@scrapbookingmadesimple.com. You have to send your email there. If you go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com and you look for the link that says winner chicken dinner, it will tell you everything that you need to do. So don't forget to claim your prize and we will ship it as fast as we possibly can. But right now, literally, I'm ordering, you probably don't know what Dymo labels are, but when you get your package, there's this 4x6 label on it that has your name and the barcode and everything. I have to order new Dymo printers so that people can take them home to help ship and the labels to go with them. All these things that you didn't think about when you're just so used to coming into work and having everything that you need here. So, all right, girls, go ahead and claim your prize. And if you want to be a winner chicken dinner, it's easy peasy. All you have to do is post a comment, not part of the live chat, but post a comment on this YouTube and you will go into the drawing for winner chicken dinner. We pick 2 every time. It is a random selection. You just never know when you're going to hear your name, and we wish you all the very best of luck. So I'm going to get started for today. We're going to tilt on down, and I'm excited to bring you Couture Creations' beautiful product at amazing prices, a specialty kit from Stampendous on twinkling sparkly embossing powders, and pigment inks from Hero Arts. Did you know they did pigment inks? It's new for them. They have 8 colors and I'm going to show you how we use them. All right, down we go, you guys. It's good to see you. It's really good to be here. Okay, down we go. You bring the normal back into my life. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's zoom. Oh, wrong way. Zoom. All right, I think we're good. All right, so had we been doing an in-store make and take, this would have been it. But we're not let me try and zoom up. But we're not doing an in-store make and take because we are currently closed. And I don't know if I can getting the glitter on there. And oh yeah, I can see it kind of twinkling. Can you see it winking at you? So the die and stamp that we used is from Couture Creations. And we're using glitter embossing powder. So we did this one, but then had we gone through with it, and it's all prepped, we're going to give you the option. Oh, see, I can see that here. My little screen is like 2 inches by 2 inches, but even I can see that from here too. Look at how pretty is this. And easy, so easy. And effective, really effective. I think the colors are just lovely, and because of the size of the flower, it really helps fill either a card or a layout, but there's some options to this that I'm going to show you. So I think to get started, I am going to play with the set first, and that's the flower I just showed you. And it comes with the flower and not one, but 3 dies. 1, 2, 3. So this flower is actually a layering flower. Only one stamp to work with. And you're like, well, how does that work? Don't worry, I'm going to show you. I'm going to start with this one. And I think the first thing I want to teach you is the difference between playing with a VersaMark versus a pigment-based ink if you are doing heat embossing. So let's see, is this big enough? Ooh, by the hair of my chinny chin chin. And should I ever have a hair on my chinny chin chin, I would greatly appreciate you all letting me know. That's like girl code thing, right? Okay, I'm gonna bring over my stamp press from Couture Creations, and this is just an amazing little tool. It is different than all the other stamp presses out there. In fact, I'm gonna go back just a little bit, just so. It's a little different than all the other stamp presses out there because it works on a spring hinge. You have an open side. Here is open, which means there's no ridge, here no ridge, here no ridge. You have one there. It means that you can turn your paper any way you want and it's still going to work, and you can use larger size paper because there's no ridges at the top or around the sides. And we did them, they're now $24.99. That's our everyday price. The going rate for these, the MSRP is $40. So yeah, we're not doing it for $40. We want to keep crafting affordable even now more than ever. So the stamp press is a beautiful little toy, and you can see how it works on a spring hinge, which means you don't have to flip it or change it if you're doing a clear stamp versus a cling stamp. You don't have to change anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my stamp on my, well, I'm going to put my paper there. I'm going to line up my stamp the way I want it. I'm going to put my magnets on my paper. I'm going to close up my little book, and I'm going to press down, and now my stamp is in perfect position, ready to go. So I'm going to start this by using a pigment-based ink. So this is the Hero Hues new pigment-based inks. There's 8 new inks. They're full size, and keep remembering your inks, your ABCs of inks. If you know your ABCs, then you know the order of your inks. You know CDP. CDP of inks. C is your chalk ink. It's the closest to the letter A in ABC, so it dries the fastest. D is your dye-based inks. Well, D is right next to C in the alphabet, so that means it dries almost as fast as your chalk-based inks. C and D, very close to the front of the alphabet. They dry the fastest. But today we're talking about a pigment-based ink. That is P. That is so far down the line. I mean, you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. I mean, what is that? The 16th letter in the alphabet out of 26? It's way down the line. That means a pigment-based ink dries slowly. Slowly. Not fast. What did I say? Slowly. So if you were to stamp with this on paper, will it stamp on paper? Sure it will. It'll stamp beautifully. But you have to let it dry. If you move it too fast, gonna smear. So let me show you. I'm gonna ink up my stamp. I'm gonna close my little book. I'm gonna give a press. Ooh, I don't wanna put that there. Oh, that would not be good. Give a little press, ABC, 1, 2, 3, pull up. Oh, I didn't get all of it over here. I don't know, can you see that in the camera? I missed a little space over here. So all I have to do is close it back up, ABC 1, 2, 3, and we are good to go. Now, because it is a pigment-based ink, that is what can happen. It needs to dry. You have to give it time. If this was a dye-based ink, well, a dye-based ink sucks right into the paper and you don't have this issue. But with a pigment-based ink, you do. So why do you use a pigment-based ink? Well, a pigment-based ink tends to sit on top of the paper, unlike that dye-based ink that absorbs in, which means it stays wet long enough for you to use it with embossing powders. So I'm going to turn this over because paper's got two sides. I'm going to hope that I'm close. Oh yeah, good enough. I'm going to re-ink it. Now, a pigment-based ink is not a permanent ink. A permanent ink is meant for things like non-porous materials, plastics, and wood, and metal, and glass. So there is a distinct difference between pigment-based and permanent-based. Totally different ink. I'm going to give this a nice stamp. ABC 1, 2, 3. Hopefully I've got good pressure all the way around. If I missed a little spot, I can just close it right back up and add pressure where I missed my little spot. Open it up and my stamp is beautiful. If this were a permanent based ink like a StazOn or an archival, it would in fact stain my stamp. But this is not a permanent based ink, this is a pigment based ink. And therefore it's going to wipe right off my stamp without any problem. Now, I've got this little stamp right here and I want to go ahead and I want to use embossing powder with it. So I am going to bring over my sparkle embossing powder. Sparkly embossing powder. There's 14 different colors. There's no duplications. And each one of them has a glittery, sparkly hint to it. Now, hopefully I haven't let this dry for too long. Let's see if I can add my color to it. So I'm going to use a light blue. And I'm just going to dump it on because almost all of it's going to go right back into my little tub. Now, can you see where I didn't get any on? It's very dark. Can you see where I did? It's much lighter. You can see the sparkly. So I'm going to put a little there. Give a little tap, tap, tap. I tend to do a little flick, flick, flick. And I now have sparkly all over. But this is embossing powder. So until I heat set it, it's going to wipe right off. Let me put all of this right back into my pot. Okay. So you can see I used almost nothing. Put that there. Then I'm going to bring my heat tool over. Now my heat tool is by Ranger, and this is not a blow dryer, it is an actual heat tool, which means that if you try to do a blow dryer with this, the blow dryer is never going to get hot enough to melt my powder into a solid. And if you try to use this for a blow dryer, well, you're going to singe your hair. Now, when I do my heat setting, I keep my heated tool right down low. You can see how close I am. I am right down low. And I don't move it all over the place. I'm not doing this. Because every time I add heat here and then I move it, I take it away and it starts to cool, and then I add it and it starts heating back up, and then I take it away. So I just keep my heat tool in one area until I see my embossing powder start to turn. with your sparkly embossing powder, it's a little tricky to see it turn sometimes. You can see the little twinkling of the embossing, of the little glitters. You can see that kind of moving. And that's how you know it's gone from a powder to a solid. Is that you can see that little, you look at it at an angle and you can see the little shimmers turn just a little bit and fluctuate. And that lets you know that your powder has gone from a powder to the solid. And I'm just going to bring it all the way around. And heat it all the way up. Now, SMS girl Claire couldn't see the little shimmeries, and she was heating her paper for 8 minutes. Now, mind you, 8 minutes on paper with a heated tool, and it didn't burn the paper. But what it did do is it dried out the embossing powder so much that it just wiped right off again. So it doesn't take 8 minutes to heat it up. And you just want to see it make a turn. And when you see that, you move on. And hopefully I'm close. We'll see. Now, it doesn't take long for it to dry either. It is, by the time your paper cools down, it should be dry. And let's see, what did I get? I'm going to take a little fluff brush, a little makeup brush, and just wipe off some of the glitter, the excess. Oh, looks pretty good. I don't know if I can get a, I don't know if I can get it in there. Can I get a hey? Hopefully you can see the glitter in there. Can't tell. Well, I'm gonna hope so. So, but you can certainly hear it. Okay, if this was just a stamp, you wouldn't hear that roughness. That's my finger going over all the little bumps of the embossing powder. And once it's there, it's there. Now, I used the Pigment ink to do this. And the reason I used the Pigment ink is because can you see that this is maybe a little darker over here and a little lighter over there and a little darker in there. You've got some highs and lows already built into your flower or your embossing. It's not just all straight glittery embossing powder. You've got some depth perception already happening before you even start, because you started with an ink and put your embossing powder on top of that. Because this is a glitter embossing powder as opposed to a standard gold or silver or copper or black, because it's got that glitter into it, there's some transparency in the embossing powder. So having a base color underneath gives you already definition that you wouldn't have before. So you're saying, I don't get it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one right there and I'm gonna stamp again. This time I'm gonna stamp with a VersaMark. What's a VersaMark? Let's talk about that before I stamp. And I want to wipe off my stamp real quick. Make sure I got it all wiped off. So what's a VersaMark? VersaMark is an embossing medium. It has been around forever. As far as embossing mediums goes, it is rock star. It is a clear medium, which means you can't see it. It's a clear ink. It's almost like a pigment ink that has no color to it. So a lot of people have VersaMarks or something similar to it already in their crafty stash, because embossing has been around forever and a day. So I'm going to put my paper down again. Hopefully I'm close because I didn't reline. Now we can slide it over just a little bit. Slide, slide, slide. Up, up. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to ink my stamp with a VersaMark. And you're not going to see any color on the stamp. I'm going to close it on up. And I'm going to stamp. I want to make sure I have a good impression. I can go up and down and move it all over. I can open it up. I can pick it up. I don't know if I'll get it in there, but there's a watermark image on there of the flower telling me, oh, it looks like I stamped okay. If I'm worried, go back down. If I think I need to add more, I can add more VersaMark to make sure that my image is even better. Close it up. This is the beauty of a stamp platform. If you were doing this on a clear block, relining up would be virtually impossible. Oh, now I can really see it. Let's see if I can get it for you guys. Can you see it now? Okay, let's say you can. Woohoo! VersaMark also is easily cleaned up with just a baby wipe. Although right now baby wipes are of a premium, so maybe if you have baby wipes, you maybe share them with a mom who has a baby. That would be a kind thing to do. Find a mom who has a baby, because baby wipes are certainly hard to come by. This is my last container of them, and we are not buying baby wipes anymore until we know that they are back in stock and readily available for everybody, because there really are babies who need baby wipes. Okay, so I'm going to take the same blue embossing powder, sparkly, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to dump it right on over. But because I'm on a VersaMark ink, a clear ink, oh, I got my finger in there. It's still going to stay where that ink is. But because it's not the blue, it's a little harder to see. Not horrible. I did get my fingers mixed into it. I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Get off all the extra. Ooh, I was really close. And then put all of this back. Okay. Put my lid on, bring it over, and let's heat set it. So same thing, I'm going to start in one position, and as my paper heats up and as my embossing powder heats up, the little sparklies in the embossing powder are going to kind of twinkle at me and move, and that's going to tell me that it is time to move along and move my little heat tool. You can see that I'm getting very close. If you're used to using a cylinder tool, it's going to go far faster than this, but you also run the risk of burning it. So if you're using a cylinder heat tool, just be a little more thoughtful with it and gentle with it, because if you leave it too long, a cylinder tool will burn your embossing powder and will burn your paper. I'm of the mind slow and steady wins the race. So and apparently I have no place to be for a month. So not true, I have so much work to do. I'm just gonna take my time and emboss this so that it just comes out perfect. And as I see it turn and I see the little twinkling happening, that's telling me that it is done. See, I talked too much and I didn't realize where I left off. Let me get down here because I don't think I did down here. Okay. What do you think? You think I'm done? Should we give it a whirl? Did I do this side? Distracted heat embossing. It's a thing. The struggle is real, people. Okay. See, can you see the shimmer in the, oh yeah, sure you can. Shall we see if okay, I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to brush off all the little extra glitter. Oh yeah, I did good. Woohoo! Okay, so now you have that. Can you see the difference between this And this, it's the same embossing powder. But this is sheer glitter. That's all it is. Glitter all the way. And it's the same color all the way through. Unlike using a base color to start on, where then you're adding that glitter on top. Which do you like more? You have options. It doesn't matter that this is a light blue and I used a dark blue pigment ink. Use an ink that's in the color family. Maybe you have a dark pink pigment-based ink that you've had forever and you have a light pink. Well, there is a light pink glitter ink in there. Mix them and match them together. Sometimes you may want it to look like this and sometimes you may want it to look like that. What makes your heart happy? But we're not done with these. No, but I want to show you one more thing before we move on. And I do want to finish, I didn't get all of this back in. I do want to put my glitter back in. Okay, so, also important. Can you see how blue that is? I'm going to put the rest of the glitter because I didn't get it all in. Now can you see how white that is? Glitter is different colors, and the different elements that make up the color are at different weights. So that the little pieces that make up the blue are obviously less heavy or lighter than the pieces that make up the white, which give you all that shimmer. So when you're putting it back in, the white tends to remain behind. You need to get that in there and put it in there, and then now I've got all that white at the top. So all I'm going to do is close it up, give it a good little shake, 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 or is it the other way? The white is not as heavy and the blue is heavier, letting it go in, and the white stays behind because it's light. Okay, somebody will clarify that for me. I'm sure there'll be a note somewhere, there'll be a comment. So was the blue heavier and that's why it went in and the white was lighter and it stayed behind? I'm not 100% positive. I have to think about that. But you definitely get two distinctly different looks. One more thing I want to show you before we move on. Black. Ooh, too small. Black paper. What if you want to emboss upon black paper? You absolutely can use your VersaMark to do that. And it will leave a little bit of a watermark for you to see. You can also use any pigment-based ink, preferably one that is a base color in the same color family as if you're using a glitter ink, as the glitter ink. If I was going to stamp this in gold, it wouldn't matter what, or emboss it in gold powder, it wouldn't matter what color I use. Gold and silver and copper, they're an opaque ink or an opaque embossing powder. So the minute I put it over my ink, it's going to hide the ink totally. Your gold, your silver, your copper, your black, pinks, anything that's not glittery is more opaque. And so when you put it over any color pigment ink, it's going to hide that ink totally. But being that this has glitter in it, you want to use a color that is in the same color family. On black, while you can absolutely use both of these, for some people it is easier to use a white ink. So this is also a pigment-based ink. This is the unicorn ink from Hero Arts. We've had it, we've used it a lot. It is a wonderful white ink because it is a true white ink. It is pigment based, so it's not going to stain your stamp. It's going to hold the embossing powder just like I did before. Boy, I got glitter all over this. Holy smokes, I haven't even started and it's all glittery happy. So I'm going to line this up, make sure that I've got enough room for this. That's good. I'm going to put my little magnets on it, and the magnets have little tabbies. No, we don't have the magnets yet, the additional magnets that you can buy. Ozzy Andrew hasn't gotten them to us yet. I know he's working on them, and as soon as he is, people want to buy just the magnets for their stamp press, and he is working on getting that done. Now I'm using the Hero Arts Unicorn ink. It is a pure white pigment-based ink. And when I say white, I do mean white, because not all whites are the same. And this is the first white ink we've ever carried in the store, because it is actually a white ink. And it looks white. It doesn't look like a soft gray. It looks white. Make sure that I've got it all pressed and stamped. Oh, that looks pretty good. Well, one more space over there. Better. That is white ink. And I'm going to take and put my blue powder on top of this. For some people, a white ink is easier to see when embossing on top of black paper or a dark colored paper. Take my blue, dump, 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 dump. Let it walk on down. Oh, you can really see. Look at that. So now I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Ooh, Stacy. Okay, back together. All right, I think that'll be good enough. I'm going to close this up and put away. Oh, and I missed again. Okay. Up, up, up. In. Up, up, up. Even with me spilling what I did, I still haven't used very much embossing powder. It really goes a long way, which is why we asked Stampendous to put together these specialty kits. That way you get lots of color. Oh, and you can see there's a lot of white back in here. Can you see there's a lot of white? I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put that white right back in. We wanted to have lots of color, and because they go so far, I would rather you have smaller bottles and lots of colors to play with than big bottles and few colors. Can you buy these colors open stock if blue tends to be your favorite color and you run out? Yes, of course you can. But we thought it would be nice for these specialty kits for you to be able to have lots of different colors to start with. And blue may not be your most favorite color and you might not use it all the time, but it sure is nice to have a small bottle of it when you need it. All right, let me heat this up. So now I'm on black and I use the Hero Hues Unicorn ink. It is a white ink, pigment based, sits on top of the paper, giving you the opportunity to use embossing powder with it. Unicorn ink on dark papers is wonderful. We use unicorn ink a lot now because it only took 14 years for us to find a white ink that actually is white. It does not come in a small pad. It comes in a full-size pad and a re-inker. Okay, I want to make sure I get this really good. And I can see it turning. I can see it twinkling at me. And that's telling me that it is melting from a powder into a solid. But don't be like Claire. I love you, Claire. I do. But if you've gone through 2 commercial breaks and you're still heating, if you're watching NCIS and Mark Harmon has, you've seen him through 2 commercial breaks, you're probably heating too long. Okay. NCIS was my mother-in-law. That and Blue Bloods. She loved her Mark Harmon and she loved her Tom Selleck, my mother-in-law, you bet. Okay, let's see if I did okay. Yeah, not bad. Now I could take all of that and put that back into my little pot, but I'm not going to. All right, so now there's my embossing powder on black. So the first thing we did is I stamped with a blue ink and then took the blue sparkly embossing powder and did that, giving you the different colors of blue coming through, but still the glitter. Then I used my VersaMark and just my sparkly blue glitter, and I got that. Then I used my Hero Hues Unicorn ink on black and my blue sparkly, and I got that. But we're not done yet. What are we gonna do with these? Easy peasy. Let's color them. So this is where these super little cute hearts come in. These are new from Ozzy Andrew and Couture Creations. They're blending brushes. So they've got the thousands of bristles on the top. Thousands. I can't even imagine how many bristles are in here. And then it comes in this cute little carrying case, and they're just darling and super cute. Do you need to have one of them for every color ink you own? No. Some people may want one for every color family. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just mix it up, baby. I just go. So as long as it is, when I go and rub it, as long as it's gonna rub clean, as soon as I have it rubbing clean, I know I'm good to go. All right, I'm good to go. I've got all my blue ink off. That's all I care about. Is it rubbing clean? Don't care what this looks like at the end of the day. I just care, is it rubbing clean? So let's start. Now here I am gonna use a dye-based type ink because I need that ink to sink right on in. And so I'm just gonna grab, and it doesn't matter what dye-based ink you use. Tim Holtz Distress ink, Memento ink, Hero Arts ink, Lawn Fawn ink, Stampin' Up ink. What do you have? It doesn't matter what brand it is. If you have a blue from Hero Arts and a pink from Stampin' Up and a red from Memento and a purple from Tim Holtz, and you want to make all those colors blend together, okay, they play well in the sandbox together. Don't worry about the fact that you're using a Memento with Hero Arts. Are these the two colors you own? And these are the two colors you want? If that's what you have, use them. I'm going to take a little bit, and I mean it takes a little bit. Pat, pat. And look at how much gets on my little blendy brush just from a pat, pat. So I'm going to start this kind of off on the side because I want to keep it very light in the center. So I'm going to start off over here and kind of get rid of some of it. So stamp off as they say, or ink off, and come into the center and just do a very little bit of a swirl. I want to keep it very soft in the center. Another pat. I'll rub it off again. And where I stopped my swirl, I'll come back and add a little bit more and keep moving it towards the outside of my flower. I'm going to do this flower with one color of ink. Can you use just one color? Of course you can. It all depends upon the intensity and the saturation that you put on your project. How intense is that color? How saturated is it? Right now, it's not saturated at all. It's very soft. In fact, you might find it hard to believe that this color and this color are the same, but they are. So now I've kept it very, very soft. Then maybe on my edges, I want to go in there and I want to make it deep. I want to get in there and get some color in there. I hear somebody's here. I don't know if it's the mailman or what. I want to get some deep, dark edges, which is really going to make that glitter pop up and out. Now you can really see what I mean about saturation. Look at how light this is, almost nothing. And then look at how dark this is. And you're like, oh, Stacy, you ruined it. Oh, but I didn't. And you can still see my shimmery, shiny goodness coming through, my glitter coming through. Gosh, maybe I even want to make it a little darker. Maybe I really want those edges. Oh, I think the mailman's here. This is it. The next packages you get will be from me shipping. Oh boy. You know, I think that a person who owns a business needs to be able to do everything in that business, and by golly, I absolutely can. It doesn't mean I do it on an everyday basis, but I've shipped with the best of them. All right, here's the die that comes with the stamp. One of them, there's 3 dies actually. I'm gonna look for a landmark. Landmark. Something with a big, oh, there's that little, oh, there it is. Okay, I found a landmark. So I found this little nib right there that I'm sure goes right there. And I'm gonna see if I line it up. Oh, perfect. All right, I'm gonna bring my die cutting machine over. So today I am using my Big Shot machine, and I'm gonna be gentle with it so it doesn't upset my camera. Make the stabilizer thing go off. I'm using a magnetic platform so that I can keep my die in place once I get it where I want it to go. Put my top plate over it so it's always sandwiched between 2. This is not an intricate die, so you do not need a precision base plate at all. Oop, down and zoop, there we go. Bring it over. Ta-da! That looks pretty good, huh? 1 color of ink. And because I used the ink as a base for a colored ink as the base for my my embossing powder, you have a little more depth than you would here. So I'm gonna do this one next, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna use the same blue. Put that one there, and I'm gonna bring over, and I'm gonna use the same blue that I used, which is Deep Ocean. And a little there, and I'm gonna start it off over here so it's a little soft in the middle. Very soft in the middle is soft ink. Build my color up and out. Now remember, I said that this set comes with 3 different dies. Comes with 3 different dies with this stamp set. You get the 1 stamp, 3 different dies. Why do you need 3 different dies? Well, I used the first one, the largest one, to cut this out. Then I'm going to take my second one, and I'm gonna find, oh, this is an easy one. See those 3 little, looks like Bart Simpson's hair, kind of. I'm gonna line it up here. And now I'm gonna cut out my second layer. So for this set, and for you to be able to layer it, you need to stamp it 3 times. 1 stamp, 3 dies, and you cut less and less, giving you your layers. Let's send this on through. It's not an intricate die, it's an open frame die, so 1 roll should be all you need. If you want to roll it back, you absolutely can. That's at your discretion. Gentle with my Big Shot machine. Pop it out, and there it is. Now, I might I might want to go back in and add a little more color to my edges, just to darken them up. And my little tool here, whether you have blending brushes or you're using a finger dauber, doesn't quite do as nice of a job, but it will definitely get the job done. I've used them and I use them a lot. So you just have to start off your paper and then come on to your, off your paper and then come onto your paper. So you want to start on your craft mat, start blending here, and then swirl in. And what that does is it alleviates you leaving like a little line. So in we go. If you've got daubers, if you've got Tim Holtz blending tools, if you've got any of the blending brushes, start off and move in. And it gives you just a beautiful blend. And now I can layer that one on top of this one and start adding dimension. And of course there's one more. Let's see. I don't think I have one more. There is one more die. Well, you know what? I'll do this one, but I'll do it in the white. It's not going to match our flower, but that doesn't matter, right? You're going to be okay with that. So I want to get all of this blue off. Off. And I'm just going to rub. Although I would save that and do something beautiful with that because it's a beautiful background, all soft and sweet and lovely. Okay, I'm pretty confident I've got most of my blue off, although again, I would look at how it just dissolves. It's a beautiful, beautiful dissolve. Ooh, I don't know. We're going to do something. I'm going to keep that. So for black, what am I going to do to color black? Well, what if you used your white ink? What if you used your white ink? What if I put a little bit? Do you see how little that is? Can you even see if there's white on there? A little bit of white. Look at that. There it is. That was one little zoop. and I got lots of white ink on there. What if I came in and just kind of rubbed it over my black paper? Now because it is a pigment-based ink, it's sitting on top of my paper. It's sitting on top. So when I look at my paper, it kind of dulls that pretty shininess to it. But because this is embossing powder and it's glittery, you can take a paper towel, not a baby wipe, a paper towel, and you can come in and come back and put your glittery back. Be gentle with your paper towel. Look at it, ate my paper towel. Be gentle with your paper towel. But you can go back in and put your glittery back in. It acts almost like a resist. Then you take your last layer and let's find a spot for it. There, I'm thinking that's it. Right there it is. So there's my last layer. There's my second layer. And here, where's my little, there is my top layer. So to get this flower to layer, you just have to stamp 3 times. And then you cut out each individual layer and they will lay right on top. Line it right up on top, use some dimension, and you've created a dimensional flower. Now, can you get in there and tweak it and move it? And sure you can, absolutely. Totally up to you. How much dimension you want to put into it. Could I crinkle them all the way up? Absolutely. So, you definitely have options when you're playing, and knowing what the final outcome is, what you want it to look like, is so important. Whether you want to go ahead and have it very much, let's see, let me do a pinky one. I'm going to take my white off. Oh, you know what? Let's move. Let's trade. Let's use this one. This is another set from Couture Creations. And this one's a little tricky. I have to tell you, we had to think about it for a moment, because you get a main stamp and then you get different elements to layer on top of the main stamp. So, so this one was a little tricky for me for a moment. Do I have, what color inks do I have over here? Well, are we gonna do a blue flower? Okay, we'll do a blue flower. I've got blue open. I'm gonna put my rose down. Let me find a piece of paper. Actually, let me line it up on my paper. Oh, that's tight. I did not give myself a lot of room to play. Do I have another piece that's a wee bit wider? Oh, look at that, so much better. Okay, put my magnet right on it. Yep, close it up. And now I'm ready to go. So let's take another color of embossing. How about just the sparkly white? Oh, I don't know. How about the pink? Okay, we're just gonna play. This is only playtime, right? What's the worst that can happen? Oh, but I have blue, so I'm gonna use blue because I have blue ink. That's what I've got. Okay, so let's ink it up. We're gonna have a blue rose. How about blue there? And I do have a green. So the Hero Hues pigments come in 8 colors, so I do have a green here. So what if I just did a little green on there? Okay. And then let's stamp. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. A little light. Go back in, stamp a little harder. Little light. What if I added a little more blue to it, just to make sure I've got good coverage? Because I'm on a stamp platform, no problem. Whoop. Oh, look, it's so much better. Okay, so then let's take our blue, and I've got a green in here. All right, so let's throw a little bit of blue embossing powder over the top. And I'm gonna keep it away from the green. They might overlap a little, but that's okay. So I've got a little blue going on. And then let's go, oh, let's put all of this back. Get all that white out. Put it all back. And now let's play with my green. And I'm going to have my green go down so it doesn't get all into my blue. Now I've got my green. Put it all back. And let's heat set. And again, I'm going to let it go until I see it start to turn. I'm going to keep it in one place until I see it start to twinkle at me. And then I will start to move on. And as I see it turning, I know that I can move my heat tool and keep going. Is a cylinder tool faster? Yes. If you're proficient with a cylinder tool, by all means go for it. If you're a newbie crafter and have never done embossing powders before, I really recommend a heated tool to at least get you started. That way you're successful every time. It kind of breaks your heart just a little bit after you've stamped and you've put your embossing powder down to only heat so much that you've burned it or you've burned your paper. And I can see it changing. And it's twinkling and twinkling and twinkling at me. And I'm slowly moving it. I know, a little bit like watching paint dry, I'm sorry. But we don't do the easy bake oven type of Rachel Ray where you know, whoever you watch cooking, that they make one and then they put it in the oven and poof, they pop it out, it's all done for you. No, we do it together. This is our time together, right? And it has been one heck of a week, no doubt about it. Do I think I'm good? I think I'm good. Maybe a little spot right there. So I kind of turned it and I can see that it's a little dull right there. So I'm thinking that it's not, that I haven't added enough heat yet to turn it. There it goes. All right. I still think this C piece here looks a little dull to me. I'm just going to add a little heat to it just to make sure that it turns. And you can see I'm able to pick up my paper and hold it at the same time. That would not be possible with a cylinder tool. All right, let's give it a whirl. All I can do is brush it off, and then you see what happens if you don't heat it all the way, right? Give it a second to dry. When your paper cools down, you know that it is set. Okay, woohoo ka-choo, right? Yay! But this set has options. So let's say I put down, let's say I stamp this all over again, and okay, well, let's just, I'm not going to heat set. Well, I am, but I'm not going to use embossing powder, I promise. So let's just say, and let's get another piece of paper and make sure that I'm okay. Let's just make sure I'm okay. I promise I'm not going to use embossing powder and make you sit there and watch me heat set again. Okay, so add my magnets. Zoop, zoop, sound effects required. Add a little bit of my green. Okay, add a little bit of my blue. Right up there. And right up there. So close. Okay, close enough. Gonna be close enough. Let's stamp it. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Give a good press. Open it up. If I'm not happy with some place, I can add more, but I'm not going to, even though well, yes I am. I'm so sorry. Better. Of course I stamped off, but that's okay. It's all good. All good. Take a baby wipe, wet paper towel, scrubby, whatever you use to clean up your stamps. It's going to clean right up. I'm not going to heat set, or I'm not going to emboss this one. I am going to do a quick heat set just so it doesn't smear. Just so it doesn't smear. Okay, then I'm going to put it aside. So I have this one that has just been colored just with ink, my permanent pigment-based inks, and this one has been stamped with my pigment-based inks and embossed with my glitter. What am I going to do next? I'm going to grab the dies that it came with. So I have got this die and this die, I think are the two I'm going to use. And I'm going to bring over my Big Shot machine gently. Put my paper down. This die matches the rose. All you have to do is find your little, let's find a, does that one go there? No. Does that one go there? Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay, so I'm all lined up. Now, I'm going to die cut that out. You're like, oh no, but that's so, it's done. Wait. So let's roll this one on through. And I'm just going to roll it back just for ease. Bam, done. Now I'm going to take this one that it comes with and I'm going to line it up here. And roll it on through. Oh, I'm a little off. Is it too late? Is it too late? Is it too late? Okay, we'll see if it's too late. Yeah, I think it's too late. All right, no big, oh, now I'm way off. Oh well. Oh yeah, a little off on my stem. So can you see I've got a little too much white on my stem? We're just gonna take care of that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, all better. And then there is one more. I'm going to use the leaf die because they gave it to us. So I'm then going to cut out that leaf right there. Send it through. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Just send it on through your machine. Whether it be a Big Shot, a Big Kick, a Vagabond, a Big Shot Plus, a Big Shot Express, a Platinum machine from Spellbinders, whether it be a 6 or an 8, Grand Caliber from Spellbinders. What do you have that does wafer style dies? You'll be just fine. And I'm gonna, no, you know what, I'm gonna leave that. Oh, let's put that back up there. So now I can pop these right on top. I've got my base underneath. I should probably, yep, I've got my base color underneath, and then I've got my beautiful glitter color to go on top. And I can pop these right on top to add dimension. They've given you all the dies to do that. So with this set, talk about having options. You can just stamp it. You can stamp it and literally just pop, if I wanted, just pop the flowers, cut off the stem. You could leave the stem and pop all of that. You can pop the leaf, or you can just use these. You can just use this all by itself and not use the rest of the stamped image at all. What makes your heart happy? You have options. This is a fabulous set because of all the different things that you can do with it. Add, take away, don't use it all, forget the bottom image, and just use the die and stamped image. Take your pick. This is a fabulous, okay, and it's $14.86. Okay, that's a really, really good price, and then it's on sale at 20% off. This is a phenomenal set. The one I was using earlier is $15.17, where you get the 3 dies and the 1 big stamp. And then there's one last one that is $11.22. You get 1 stamp and 2, or you get 2 stamps and 2 dies. I have samples in all of these. But you can see the difference in when you use something that has a base color for your embossing powder versus something that doesn't have a base color. It's up to you what you like best. And when stamping on black, using a white ink makes things so much easier. So glitter embossing powders, they don't have to be so glitter. They can be glitter. And because it's an embossing powder, once it's there, it's there. You don't have to worry about that. And then with his darling little tool, that just looks super cute on your desk. I mean, I won't lie, it does. It just looks darling sitting there, and they're all lined up and they're all cute little heart shapes, but it gives you the opportunity to blend your colors, especially a single color, from something super dark, just a couple little taps, one little tap, and you can see how much ink it picks up. Super dark into something super light. If you are on a budget and you don't have a lot of inks to play with, don't feel badly. Don't think you can't do this. You can. You just have to play with the ink that you have, with the color, the saturation, the intensity. That's what you have to play with, is how can I get it onto my paper light enough so that it fades out. But if I want it darker in the center, that I can do that. And then fade out. One color will go a really long way. It's just about how you use it. Really, they're just amazing. So what did we do today? Oh my gosh, well, we played with pigment-based inks. We played with VersaMark, showing the difference between the two when you use them with embossing powder. We played with the Hero Hues ink. We played with the new kit that Stampendous was so kind to do when I asked them for it. They said, absolutely. It's all sparkly goodness. And being that they're in the smaller the little smaller containers, you can have all the colors. And then if there's a color you use more than the others, then you can pay the, I don't know, $4.99 or $5.99 for the one color that seems to be your go-to color. But if you want an opportunity to play, the little kits are wonderful, and they even come with these 2 Slurpee straws so that you can spread it around and tap it out. And then we played with our, oh, and here's some of the colors of Hero Hues. 8 colors, ruby and tiger's eye. Oh, did they go jewel tones? Amethyst. Why, yes, they did. Moonstone. And coming from a girl who started in the jewelry industry, and I'm a graduate gemologist and all sorts of stuff, I know all of these colors. Citrine and sapphire and where's an emerald. So these are the colors of the pigment-based inks, and it'll all be on sale. The pigment-based inks, the Hero Hues Unicorn, the cute little heart, and then the, not only the 3, well, the 2 that I played with, there's actually 3 of them. These are stamp and die combinations, but then we also brought in, and I have samples made with just stamps. And they have words. They have this beautiful little dragonfly set. Love the big butterfly. And okay, the price is $5.60 less 20%, right? Love the background here and the hearts. Wait till you see the samples. So that's what we're gonna go to next, samples. Are you ready? Are you? No, I can't sing that, I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. They don't like you to sing on YouTube. Okay. So this is just one layer done with the pink, the dark pink, like the ruby color, embossing powder, and then colored pencils. I was playing. This wasn't supposed to be made into a sample. This was me just playing, and the girls took it and ran with it and made it into a sample. And then look at this one with all the layers. And this is pattern paper. So this is pattern paper, and here's the one she did in white and colored. And it's all done with the glittery, not too glittery, not in your face glitter, embossing powder, right? And of course the Sending Love is from my exclusive Stampendous set. Love this one. Love this one. Okay, so you could barely tell, honestly, this is not a background paper. This background paper was made using that stamp and a little bit of ink to just add a little color to distress it. This whole card was done with this one set, including this background paper. It's beautiful. That's a great guy card, to be honest. Well done, Claire. Well done. This was a last minute addition. She ran up and said, I have it, I have it. Okay, then we have here. And look at this beauty. Again, cut out and layered. So these are die cut out, stamped and then die cut out and layered on top. And then look at this one. That's what that pretty, just inexpensive, $5.60 I think is what it was, dragonfly. So pretty. And then here we have some of the embossing powder right onto black. And this is that crystal. It's in the embossing powder kit. It was this color, which really isn't a color at all, but it looks wonderful on the black, doesn't it? And here, so lovely. The girls did such a fabulous job. And just remember, everybody in California is closed, so we're going to be working hard to get you your orders as quickly as possible, but there definitely will be a delay. Even if all the product were here, there'd be a delay. But Hero Arts is closed, Stampendous is closed, and Aussie Andrew is trying to get product here from Australia, but with all the planes being grounded, it's just taking a little more time than anticipated. We so appreciate your support. Hero Arts appreciates it. Couture Creations, Stampendous, we all know that this is a trying time right now and we all have to stick together. So instead of canceling the YouTube class, which would have been sad, nope, full steam ahead. How beautiful is that? Holy smokes, artichokes. Full steam ahead. We are all here for each other. And as long as we remember that, we're gonna be okay. We're family here. Not just my SMS staff, but all of you out there. You are my family. You have been through everything with me, and this is just one more thing we're gonna get through. And I'm here to support you this time. It's my turn to give back by keeping up with the YouTube classes, and hopefully it gives you a moment to just put your worries away and have a little bit of time of just play. It's my turn to give back. So pretty. Look at this one. Look at the embossing powder on that. That is the copper glittered embossing powder on that beautiful butterfly stamp. Where is it? For $5.60 less 20%. That is amazing. All right, you guys. I'm gonna tilt up. I'm gonna go back. And in the time I've done this YouTube, our store has closed. They're all gone. Everybody has left for the day. I will text everybody when I'm done and say goodbye. Then I'll see them soon. Those who are able to work at home, I'll see you sooner. And those who we are unable to have work at home, please don't worry. We'll get through this together, and I am here to help. And as long as we can make payroll, we're gonna make payroll. So, I'm such a crybaby. So, I hope you learned something in this YouTube class today, and I hope that where you might have been 6 feet apart from whoever you were watching it with, you get out your crafts and you play. And for the moments that you can, you put down the suitcases that you've been carrying all week long, all of those burdens that have been on your mind and in your heart. You set them down for just a moment. It's okay to set them down. You need that space. You need that opportunity to breathe. And I'm hoping that by continuing my YouTubes during all of that, I'm able to give back to you and give you those moments to just breathe. Okay, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Please know that we'll do our best to get you these items just as quickly as possible, and that every manufacturer that we do business with sends you their thoughts, their loves, their prayers, and their appreciation. All right, you guys, I will see you next week. Bye.